Hello everyone, hello my friends. I missed streams and I also missed good TV shows, movies. I've got like tons of recently good TV shows and movies, but I didn't just, choose some random one for this stream because recently my favorite TV show was ¿Qué estás esperando? What are you reading for? Probably you know what that TV show is. And while we are waiting for new episode, I can really just make something with one of my favorite new movies, and one of those is Linda. Basically, it's just Argentinian recent movie, so you can just actually find it, but it doesn't have any subtitles. This is the most pain for me, not having subtitles for Spanish movies or TV shows, because I mostly use Spanish made TV shows and movies, and more often than not there is no subtitles, but I kind of I managed to understand something really well, because this movie is not actually that difficult for anybody to understand if you have your attention span lasting longer than like 20 minutes. It's definitely something you can nail, because just 1 hour and a half probably, this is what you need to watch. And after you just complete it, you probably you would find yourself just understanding everything because of the context and how easy this movie to watch. Actually, there is all the plot just focusing on the main character, who is Linda, and she recently got work as a maid, a housemaid, and she basically she actually got hired by some like rich Argentinian family, basically just typical family who like doing some great careers, like this woman Louisa. She's basically in charge of all the food stuff, all the house cleaning stuff, and she just getting instructed Linda once she entered this place, and like there is total mess, and they trying to focus us on that details, like garbage, something like I don't know, like this place is definitely not the most dirty place, like there is no actual garbage on the floor or something, but they're trying to focus on some like dog shit like on the yard, like or something like this, and the most probably embarrassing and disgusting thing is that they're trying to show that dog shit in the yard, like 3 times probably they showcased just dog shit laying on the yard, and this is probably the only, not the only, but it's probably something I would not watch even once, but they shown that shit like 3 times, which is actually just grossed me out. Like you could have done that, but it's not necessarily what I mean. Like we can see that Linda is trying to like get settled in this new place, and what I really noticed from the first minute of the movie is that she is so confident, is like her attitude to work, like and how confident she is, even though she's just a recent maid in this house. Nobody knows her, like, really, like but she is so confident in every move she does. Like this is what I really like about this type of people. Like they always expresses that confident no matter what they do, no matter what they are, where they are, and no matter like who they with, like the level of confidence is always the same. Like we can see that like this common, like it's so regular, like they trying to like teach her how to cook a fish, like how to dispose like bones, something like this, and then after this Linda, a new maid in this house, she's actually she's getting pace in getting to know everyone, and she actually spared no time. Like she moves so fast. I mean, like there is no actual boundaries in what she can do or cannot, but they actually just limited her by you can, like, she can eat only in the kitchen, not with them. Like she cannot actually just sit with them at this table, like eating dinner or any food. This is like the only limitation that is actually like crossing that boundary, like so once she settled, she feels so confident in this new house, and she also, like we can see her confidence by this move. She's trying to stir the coffee, like using her nails. Like this is probably not something that you would do if you wouldn't if you wouldn't have been that confident, I mean, like, the only people who do that is someone who is definitely, like, who is not scared of anything, like, you know and then Camilo is this man who is probably, like, kind of antagonist, but not that, like, 100% a bad character, because he has some pretty complex character to play. I mean, like, this actor specifically, he just nailed it, because he did pretty good work with, something like, he's trying to play that, like, busy man who is always, like, in tons of work, who has no time to, like, to actually just to talk to anyone, but, he always finds some time to, like, sneak in on the view of this new maid. Like, this is probably the most embarrassing thing about this man. Like, he's always trying to, like, glance at her, or, like, staring at her, like, but somehow, like, I feel like almost everyone, on his, like, place would do the same shit. I mean, like, not everyone, but, this is, like, the nature of a male. Like, you trying to you trying to ignore that, but you cannot do that, because this is your nature. You, like, you're getting attracted by someone attractive. This is how it works. Like, and he just, couldn't do anything, like, basically, but he could have been a little bit modest. This is, like, the only thing he could do, like, just be modest, no matter what you feel, no matter, like, how horny anybody gets you should have just you should have just hidden that shit, because nobody cares about your sweaty dreams, or what you just imagine in your head. Like, just keep it to yourself. This is the least thing he could have done, actually. But I kind of understand why, like, for example, this is a daughter of that man, Camilo, Matilda. She's basically a young adult, like, who basically just is just making steps towards her future, like, not that experienced. Definitely the person who gets attracted to everyone attractive around her, like, and I kind of understand why she cannot really hide anything, like, and she's just staring at new maid Linda, like, just openly admire her. Like, she's definitely admiring Linda, like, from the first minute, like, of her presence in this house. what we can say about other child in this house is that this is another young adult who's basically just his name actually Sefiro. I don't actually remember his name, like, Seferino. Okay, Seferino. Seferino is probably younger than his sister, and he looks younger as well. The only thing I didn't like about his character, how he acts sometimes, it's so weird, like, you could have done better. I mean, like, not actor, I mean, like, character, actor did well, but the character itself, like, could have been a little bit, I don't know, like, he lacks some modesty. Again, this is like the thing everyone lacks in this house, some modesty, like be a little bit modest, because like you hired this maid, no matter how good she looks, no matter how attractive she is, like, you basically just hired her to clean your house, to, get your shit exposed from backyard or whatever. Like, this is basically her main work for, like, in at this place, like, and, like, you cannot just you cannot just be that freak around her, like, because that would embarrass anyone, like, so we can actually see multiple times throughout the movie, like, everyone trying to kind of sneak on Linda. In some way, they all trying to, like, glance her, like, be around her. And probably the most annoying thing, that everyone is trying to order her around, like, be modest again. It doesn't mean that if you hire someone that you can just that everyone can order you around, because not everyone pays in this house, particularly not everyone pays her. Not everyone. The only people who pay for it, parents. So they probably the only people who can order something, like make you do something, like, and I don't understand why they let their kids to order you around. Like, this is so stupid, like, just once you notice that, just make them fuck off, like, you just, my freaking kid, just, get lost. This is at least the least thing they could have done, like, I'm saying it because I feel so bad for Linda every time everyone trying to order you around, but I don't really feel that when this woman Louisa makes her do something for her, because this is basically the only genuine people at this place, probably the only like really sincere character. I mean, like, probably she gets attracted to Linda as well, but at least she's so genuine, like, and generous as well, you know. This is like uh, the best part of this movie. The relationship between Louisa and Linda probably is something that made me watch this movie, because probably I would have just skipped if there wouldn't have been anything like this relationship. Like, this probably the only thing that actually making this interesting. And actually, after we've got a lot of situations like ordering you around and some shit like this, it's not actually that bad, like, because everyone is trying to communicate somehow and find that connection with a new arrived maid. Like, they trying to actually not only order you around, but they trying to more like communicate with your worker, and they trying to be kind of around for her to not feel like alone, probably because Linda is basically she doesn't have like a lot of like they do. She lives in some like pretty bad apartment. She has her kid kind of separated from her, because her kid basically just lives with grandmother. This is how it is, like, and she actually tries everything just to get by. This is what it is. With that being said, like, she's still so confident again. Probably your lifestyle and the way you were raised, that all contributes somehow in your in the way how you act in every situation, even when you're uncomfortable. All those things from your childhood and like your parents, all that contribute in every situation, every minute, and all the consequences of your actions actually caused by those things in your past, because you cannot really remove anything from your life, like, yeah, you cannot just turn into someone else, like, in the minute. Like, it doesn't work like this. So we can see some actually scars on Linda's skin, like all that, just once again showcasing how difficult her life was. Like, having this scar on your leg, this is definitely something like an evidence how probably how hard that was, and this of course he's trying to kind of keep up with this and show her something like that he was suffering, or somehow he got this scar, I don't think he could have impressed her by showing this shit because, uh, probably she feels like this boy is trying to kind of seduce me, but she definitely knows everything about like um how to make someone fuck off, how to attract someone, or all that things. So she never actually gets embarrassed by anyone because of all the experience from her past, like all that shit she got through, like making her more experienced than anyone in this house. Probably this is what I've noticed, and probably the most interesting thing that she looks more confident than anyone in this house, but basically everyone in this house basically like more successful when it comes to career, when it comes to money, all that shit. They all have more, like more money to spend, more time probably to do whatever they want. But the only thing they lack, like, is definitely the confidence, and we can see that, like, all the people around her are more insecure than she is, and this is definitely like something you got from your childhood, adulthood, and this is something you cannot really get intentionally, because this is the way you were raised, this is the way you lived your life when you were a child, when you were an adult, like probably this is why it looks like that. So after this dinner completed, like, there were a lot of guests, and Linda, of course, she served for them different dishes, like always. And what I noticed is actually embarrassing is that everyone pays attention what Linda wears, what she's wearing, like she doesn't have any uniform, she doesn't have any they call it ropa in Spanish. It's like ropa or uniform, something that you wearing when you doing some work, like especially dirty work, like cleaning or serving food or something, like you should be wearing those things, like specific clothes. So after they everyone glanced here, like, and specifically every man at this place just staring at her. That probably was the most embarrassing moment of this movie, because in the first place, when you a grown-ass man, you cannot just do this shit, like, you cannot embarrass someone in front of everyone. Like, be a little bit decent person, I don't know, like, you cannot do that. It's not like So after this shit like done, everyone just gone, we can see again how she's trying to eat this cake, probably all that, like parts that left from this cake. And actually at this moment we can actually notice the connection between Louisa and Linda becomes more and more visible, like it's actually a genuine connection. Like she's giving her a cake, and not in return, but Louisa gives her this cream. Basically, this is like something, Louisa noticed Linda liked when they went to a store, and probably Linda she didn't have any money for it or something. So Louisa just noticed that Linda likes it, and she decided to, just buy it for her, like make a little gift. So this is basically the first step towards this connection to be more intimate. I mean, like you already know from the all the thumbnail and all the probably other videos that it's supposed to be intimacy. At some point they get those moments, but we're making it slowly, step by step. We'll be there, and we can just go through every moment because it's actually interesting. For example, this moment exactly, just showcasing Linda is trying to sniff this cigarette, or just what left from this cigarette, and she's not just disposing this shit, she's trying to like she's actually just picked that cigarette, and she got it for herself, like probably she will smoke it later. Like this is probably nobody in this place, nobody would ever done this, like, but it's just showcasing how her attitude, probably this is some type of cigarettes she cannot afford, really, like probably she knows how expensive this cigarette is or something like this. So this is why she got that for herself, and didn't just dispose. We once again at this point we see that this Seferina man is once again trying to seduce her, and this is again like giving how young he is, like giving his like unexperienced character. This is probably the least thing he could have done, actually. Just he just probably so overwhelmed and excited about someone, just being around, like, and they actually talked a lot about things like, I don't know exactly, but they were playing video games once. They were just sharing that experience about scars on bodies, like, or everything about childhood. Probably they have something in common, but just a little, So there is no way he can ever be suitable, I mean, like physically or even mentally, he would ever fit Linda's mood or Linda's preferences, because I don't think she would ever like try to talk to him if she wouldn't have been a maid at this house. If she would have been just a random woman, she would never actually paid any attention to someone like this Seferina boy is. Like, this is definitely like this. And we again we get the what's her name, Matilda, with her friends, and she made Linda make a juice for them because, like, she feels like if Linda works like a maid, she probably can make whatever I want for my friends. But I don't think it's fair. I don't feel like you should be that arrogant, because it's definitely not a good attitude. I mean, like, you could do that yourself. You could ask Linda, to make just for you just one juice, but you ask her to make for everyone. This is the stupid moment, actually. Like, and even one of those spoiled all the freaking moment and basically just spilled all the juice. This is the freaking just arrogance. I cannot stand someone like this, like, I don't really like this type of people, who is so freaking arrogant and trying to, like, get advantage of the moment. Because it's definitely something like, nobody just likes people like that. I mean, like, it's obviously not a good person to be friend with. I mean, like, but after this happened, we can see how Linda and Louisa once again getting their connection and relationship work, and by just splitting this juice, they got closer and closer, and they got tension to the point that there is no boundaries, and there's no actually boundary, because we can see that Linda feels so free to do whatever she wants. She actually trying to maximum, and this is how she getting advantage of that situation. By working as a maid at this place, she's trying to spend her time in the most, in the most effective, probably in the most, in the best possible way she could have done. This is like your moment of your life. You can do something, and that would actually change your life. Like if you make it right, without losing yourself. And we can see once again the Camilo, this man is trying to seduce her, and it becomes boring at this point. Like nothing works actually, bro. Like chill. You just grown ass man. There is no way you could be any good for this woman. Just put up with this. And just we can see his reaction, like when she got out of that car, his reaction just demonstrates that she just pisses him off by rejecting him. But the only solution for him is just stop trying, bro. Once you see someone rejects you, just stop trying. It's not like you can persuade someone to like you. And this man is just a boyfriend of Matilda. And why I really showcase you this moment, just because like giving her a look, we can see that she doesn't feel anything towards this man, because all her thoughts, all her feelings, all that just about Linda, or probably Linda gave her some thoughts that it just crossed her mind that she could have been with a woman, not with a man. Probably something changed her mind after that conversation with Linda. Probably that contributes a lot, when you have someone nearby you and you can share your feelings with that person. It contributes somehow. Like of course we're skipping this freaking moment, because this Seferina just losing shit with this, because we probably just we all understand what he's doing, so we skipping this moment. And of course he has recorded all the moments with Linda cleaning the house, or with Linda just being around. Like, this is so stupid, bro. Just never be like that. After this happened, once again, this freak Camilo, who's probably 50, 60, like 50 years old man, once again got freaking horny. And this is, of course, embarrassing. First of all, this is embarrassing for him because any other person probably would understand that there is no way, just stop it. But no, he's still trying. Like, what I really learned from getting rejected by someone is that there is no way you could ever make them like you more, or you could make them hate you more. They're just neutral, and there is no way they could have been ever not that neutral, because they just don't feel something they feel with other person. Like, this is basically not about his age. Like, this man, 50 years old, it's not that bad, actually. The worst thing is that this is basically not your type, and this type would never be fit your preferences. This is how she feels. Like, it would have been another 50 years old man, but he could have been actually way more attractive, or he could have been your type, like physically. He could have been more good looking 50 years old man. This is like how it works. Like, you just work on your freaking body, or just get lost. If you cannot work on yourself, you cannot ask someone like you, probably because you don't even like yourself. Like, what I mean, like, we can see, for example, like this Matilda, young adult, basically somehow they have more connection with Linda, even though she's less brave, and definitely she's not as experienced as Louisa is, but definitely there is more connection with every female in this house. Somehow I feel like, in this house, every female is secretly trying to be a lesbian or something like this. They all feel like either Louisa or Matilda, they feel attracted by a female, but they never actually did anything with a female. But they feel like they could have done something. This is like what I feel about this situation, like why they so sensitive around Linda, because she is basically, Linda is exposing everyone's true self. She exposing everyone's true personality, or like she exposing their feelings. And we can see at this point that there is something, definitely there is something between them, but they actually do not do anything apart of, just touching on lips, something like this. But they do not, for example, kiss or something. So we can see how it could be, to get you feel better or something, because definitely after this situation, this Matilda character, she got some feeling that she could have been actually with a woman, and Linda gave her that feelings and confidence in herself. And probably this is the most interesting communication interaction between them, because for example, her dad, like Matilda's father, when he noticed that Linda and Matilda were in the same room and they were sharing a bed, they were kind of together, he got mad because, he definitely doesn't like his daughter being a lesbian, or he doesn't like his daughter being with another woman in any intimate way, like even touching. So this is this is like hands down the most gross moment, the most embarrassing moment, because what he did is he's sniffing the freaking underwear of his daughter. This is, of course, we just skip and move on. He didn't know that it belongs to his daughter, but no matter what he knows, even though he thought that belonged to Linda, it still makes him gross, because man, just, get better, bro. Why would you sniff anyone's underwear? And this is when he noticed that his daughter and Linda were together, because he thought that underwear was actually Linda's, but he understood that was his daughter's. So this is like double embarrassing moment. I feel like this movie is trying to be so genuine. This movie probably is something not everyone would like to watch, because there is a lot of gross moment, stuff like that. But not every woman's supposed to be that perfect. I mean, like, we have a lot of movies and TV shows with perfect relationship. I mean, like, everything looks beautiful and incredibly romantic. Like, I personally, I don't like that type of movies and TV shows, and I just get tired of that type of, story. Like when producers only trying to focus on good things, like beautiful things, and embellish every moment of relationship, like by making it, by soften it, like making it somehow fake. This party, probably, I don't understand Spanish, so I guess like this was just a birthday. I mean, like the probably birthday of your kid. I don't know exactly what that was. But she actually returns to her apartment like multiple times throughout the movie. We can see how her life look, and basically it just looks like a regular apartment with regular life, no special, like actually for example, in my country, in my town specifically, almost every second person lives like that. So there is nothing actually bad about living like this, But they trying to introduce your life from that perspective for us to see the difference. And that difference should be visible as much as possible. So they trying to show us more like moments from your side and from their side. So that party and party at this house, they are basically different, totally different events, and different food, different people, different, they giving different vibe because it's totally different, So this is what they trying to focus on. Again, some part with this reflection, actually we can see that Linda actually is almost touching Louisa's face, and at this point they were close as never, because this is probably the most intimate moment. Even though this is the just reflection, we can see how they are how they really comfortable, playing around, but it's still just leading to this moment, because all that contributed, and that communication made this connection even stronger, So once they got close again, there is nothing to hide anymore, so they just basically, They just basically do whatever they want. But this moment is not the most intimate moment of this movie, because basically this is the first kiss and the first like really private situation, like the most probably exciting for them, because this is the first time they kissed each other. Especially this is probably the most exciting for Louisa, because she is older. She never touched a woman before. She never was with women. Basically, this is her coming out as a lesbian, but she never actually admitted it. She never called herself a lesbian. And this is basically the most stupid thing about this movie, is that it actually ends with nothing, because we don't know whether it's gonna be like part 2 or not, or it's just ended. There's no answer, and there is no answer whether Louisa returns, because after all those situations, of course she got fired. She has no work probably as of now. Like I don't know if there is a part 2. This woman is basically, this is a friend of Louisa's, and this friend of hers basically is one of the of those supportive characters who has no storyline. Actually, she's always trying to sneak on Louisa, and she's always trying to be a weird. She basically, she's aware of everything, and she knows everything about Louisa's life, her family, what she did, who she with, like. And somehow I feel like she is again she's secretly a lesbian, but she never came out. So this is like, again, in this movie, every woman secretly just lesbian with no courage to come out, I know what it is. Like, when you're that age, when you above 30, 40, there's no way you can easily come out as a gay, because if you just a little younger, it's a little easy. It's just a little bit easier when you're a little bit younger, but when you really younger, like 10 years younger than like your parents, for example, Matilda and her mother, they have like 10, 15, probably, no, they probably have 20 years gap, age gap. So at this point, neither of them can easily come out as a lesbian, because Matilda basically just, she's trying to be like more appropriate in her parents' eyes. She's trying to make that look like she's with that boyfriend and she likes him, but she never likes him. Actually, she at this party, what they arguing about is that boyfriend. Probably this is what I understood. Like she's trying to convince her mother that you cannot decide for me what who I like or who I want to be with. Like at this point, they actually got this argument about relationship, but I must be wrong because it's once again it could be something about education or about your future, but I think it's about relationship because after this conversation she actually broke up with her boyfriend. So I think like what could contribute was definitely that conversation with your mother. So they definitely conversed about something like Matilda's preferences in relationship. And after her father noticed that she and Linda were together, probably he and Louisa, they were trying to kind of influence Matilda's choice and influence her preferences, you know. But they did everything worse. They made it even worse because she broke up with the man and there's no way she could ever like him because of her parents want her to, you know. At this party, one of the most intense and intimate moments happened. At this moment, actually, is just the last intimacy Louisa and Linda ever experienced together, because after this situation, or while it's happening, your husband actually just, you know, he saw everything because his son basically just was trying to make this TV to show, or make this display show something for guests. But while he was trying to make it show something different, on the display we can see the camera just capturing all the moment with them together. So at this point, actually, the only person who saw this moment was the Camilo, Louisa's husband. And after this situation, like, you know, nobody actually aware of what happened. All the guests, they just gathered together, like, in this place, and Louisa acts like nothing happened really, you know, like. And we can see that after Matilda broke up with her boyfriend, he had that conversation once again with Linda about what happened, because the only person who contributed her breaking up with her boyfriend was Linda. So basically this is the only person he could have talked to, because there is no one who understands you more than Linda. Probably this is like the person you can share everything with. Like, after this conversation, of course, he said that Linda's gonna be fired. Just get your things ready and get out. This is what he said, like, probably he said more things, but what I understood was that there is no work for her anymore as a maid, at least at this house. She got her work lost and she got fired. But I don't think that this idea was discussed with Louisa. So this is the only decision this is like the only decision, and probably the worst decision he could have made, because if you just get, if you just remove someone from your life, this would never resolve anything. This would never just repair your relationship, because it doesn't work. It's not working, not because of that person you fired. Just, it wasn't because of third party. It was because of you. Like, you better try to more, like, do something with yourself and your relationship, instead of trying to first of all, he was trying multiple times to seduce that maid, Linda, and when he got rejected, of course, he spotted on that his wife with Linda, and this is so humiliating probably for him. Like, he feels humiliated. But when you are in this situation, the worst choice is just to remove that person, who probably the least you could have blamed, because the only person you should be blaming, like, it's just yourself, bro, because all this shit happened is just because of your stupid, sometimes horny character, multiple times rejected. And after this, you still think that the problem is that third party, not you. Like, this is so stupid. Like, at least if you were never trying to seduce her or making any steps towards her, that would be way better to fire her, to just remove that person from your life. But since you kind of contributed, and you shown like interest, you shown that, you know, attraction. It's not up to you who could be fired or hired, you know. I think that that decision should have been done by Louisa, definitely, or just it should have been bilateral decision, not like, you know, just one person decides. So this is why I don't like this ending, like, because there is no answer whether we have more of this movie coming out in the future or this is just the end, because there is no way they could be still hiring Louisa for this job, because but they never communicated, they never discussed what happened. This is like, again, something we don't know actually, because if he actually so upset with his wife being with Linda, at least he would have done something like conversation with his wife. He would have just, you know, talked to her about this matter, and probably they would have resolved something. But since they never conversed about this situation, it's just ending on this stupid moment, like she's just walking out with no freaking word, you know, like after all this shit happened, I think the most unfair shit again happened to Linda, Maid, because what she did actually, she attracted Louisa. She attracted probably everyone, every member of that family, but she actually was doing that because this is just who she is. This is like probably her common, like her common attitude with anyone, like, you know, like probably this attitude to work is not perfect, but she did whatever they asked her. She did everything, cleaned the freaking house, all that garbage disposal, all that shit. She did everything, but they still not satisfied with her being around, and they were trying to take even more advantage of that situation by you know, like sharing their dramas, like and of course she doesn't give a shit about everyone's dramas because she has her own life. She cares about that stuff, you know. So I don't think it's fair to, you know, like finally just blame on someone who just arrived, you know. It's just not fair, I think. So thank you guys. I think this is the all I wanted to stream, because this is just a movie, but it's pretty good movie. It's definitely not the perfect time spending if you don't like slow paced, sometimes too much detailed movies, but it's pretty good for like content creation probably, and for me specifically, I like this type of movies. But probably we will get one more episodes of Spanish TV show ¿Qué estás esperando? Tomorrow we will get episode 7 of that TV show, and if it's good, if it's actually interesting, I would create something of that episode 7, episode 6, because episode 6 was not really good. Like, if episode 7 better, we will probably do something. But this time it was just a Linda movie. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon with new stuff. Thank you guys. Goodbye.